Hello, everyone, and happy Sunday. Day 52, I think. I'm very tired today, so I don't remember what I wrote in the thumbnail a couple of minutes ago. This is getting interesting, my friends. If I would say the plot thickens, I was kind of joking about that the last time, and now I feel like I'm saying that with a different kind of it's like I'm getting a little bit not shaken, but I'm starting to okay, so when I throw out this massive manifestation net, I start a lot of threads, and then when they start to come back and they tie together like perfectly, then I get a little bit shook because I realize that I'm still skeptic. So today, the fact that we're talking about the nervous system today, and that was the point that was scheduled in my little head, is just phenomenal. There's so many threads coming together. So I'm hoping that I will be able to tie them all together today because there's a lot going on. There's absolutely a lot of energy in shifting, in the making. It's very, very, very interesting. So yesterday I did the live early, and then we headed out to this magnificent nature space, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. And it was an outdoor setting up in the mountains. So as I predicted, it was much cooler. Of course, it's got a little bit of heat for a couple of hours, but it was so nice. And not a lot of people. It was people, but it was not crowded. So it was very spacious. And Simba was hosting a session, and I was interacting with a new type of crowd. So there was a lot of people that I've never met before. And just this opportunity for me to get away for a whole day. And I also knew, because there were some things that we kind of handled Friday night, and I could just feel that the whole space of Saturday would be completely drama-free. I could feel the energy building up to me and Simba having an extraordinary day, and the kind of day that we really, really, really needed. And it was all about the nervous system. So I have been sharing before about the last 2 years being very, very challenging and transformational for us. So we're finalizing all of this. So it's still active. It hasn't yet processed. So my body is still fading out from the nervous system. So I'm going through a lot of internal, so the nervous system kind of goes like a roller coaster, like whee, especially if we've been through something big or going through something transformative. And that is also why I'm kind of specializing a little bit in to work with the fire, the transformation, the awakening, the birth and the death and the rebirth process. This more active parts of life, and people who are seeking that balance. So in the multidimensional detox journey, the second thing that we really discovered, Simba and I, on our journey. So the first one was the cellular regeneration process. And then next, we started diving into the nervous system. And we did that through a practice called TRE, tension and trauma release exercises. That is, it works on it's like neurogenic tremors. It activates a tremor mechanism, a neurogenic tremor mechanism in the body. And people who have pets, especially dogs, can notice that they tremor a little bit. They shake a little bit sometimes if there's fireworks or large noises, thunder. And that is a way for the body to release the stress from the nervous system when the body is going through something that it experiences as traumatic, or that it's too much energy for the vessel to hold, or for the capacity of the human to hold. And this is a very strong practice. So there's many layers to this practice. And Simba is, we are both providers, but Simba is also a provider trainer, and has created his own modality, internal alchemy, together with the founder of TRE, Dr. David Berzelli. So this has been part of our journey from almost the get-go. Very, very early, we found this tool and started to immersing ourselves. And beyond just the exercises and the fact that the body can use these tremors to self-heal, beyond these teachings, there is a lot of knowledge, and we are looking through life. It's not only a practice for the nervous system or for the body. There's a philosophy, and there's a way of looking at the world and how to view humanity from a very human aspect, and from an aspect of love and support, and also a level of balance and neutrality, that we trust the body to process, that we are able to grow and to hold space and to express and to grow as humans. So it's a very, 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 very interesting modality. And that from there, we started to look into the world that is the nervous system. And without knowing, so it's not about that you need to study the nervous system. Of course, the more general anatomy knowledge that we have, of course, all of that is always very beneficial. I mean, Simba has a completely different approach than I do. He comes from anatomy. He's a personal trainer, and the first core block in personal training is the anatomy. And I've actually taken that step. I've taken the anatomy course, but I have to say I wasn't very focused. I just had some system to get through. I wasn't really paying attention back then. That was years ago. But Simba knows everything about the body. He's got 10 or 12 different massage certificates. And I mean, he just knows, very schooled. While I'm going from, so I can't do that kind of training. It just doesn't, my body just like, no. I'm not just going to learn this from the sake of learning. I just can't study that way. It has to come from my purpose or level of interest. It has to tickle my fancy. Otherwise, I'm just not interested. And so the nervous system for me, it's more, let's see, what did I say? Yeah, so Simba is coming from a studied. Yeah, so I explore anatomy from a position of exploration and curiosity. So, and that is what I was started to share yesterday, that I was starting to notice these expressions in my face, and how then I look at the meridians and I say, okay, if these are active, these are active, so then I track and I trace. So I learn more by doing, not by studying. But we have built everything that we do, me and Simba, around the nervous system. So that is a core teaching of ours. And when you start to look at life through the lens of nervous system, you don't, I think I mentioned this before, that you don't see victim and villain in the same way, because you can see why people are navigating as they are, and when people are not nice or kind or in their harmonious balance, I see more people that are hurting. But I also see what they are doing. So I see them, you know, reproducing the traumas that they have been experiencing. So they're just passing that on. So when you start to look at every human as a human with a background and reasons, and that we are not perfect, and that we're all here to learn and grow, that 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 changes something inside of you, and that changes something for us. So I'm not going to teach you about the nervous system, because there's so much information already out there. This is so common and this is so basic, I have to say, in healing, that there is, and I've been teaching so much about this the past 10 years, the past 9 years. Well, not the first year, so the past, okay, 7 to 8 years. And we've been including them in all our retreats and all our courses and all our trainings and so there's so much information about the nervous system, and now the world is really, really catching up. And I'm noticing also that the people who are following this already have a lot of knowledge. So for me, it doesn't serve me to just teach basic information about the nervous system. What we are founding our methodologies on is the polyvagal curve. Both me and Simba are aware that the nervous system is deeper, wider, and broader than the polyvagal curve. But for us, it summarizes and includes what most people, on a need to know basis, it's the quickest and most easily way to understand the foundations of the nervous system. And it's a very, very practical method or way of describing it, because it's very, very easy to use. It's so easy and quick to losing the word here, use, transform, adjust something, apply to your own life. Ready to install, easy to install. And it's so foundational. So for me, yesterday, when I came out to nature, I was being kind of put in a bubble where I can just completely detach from everything that has been going on. And as I'm already on the rise, I'm not like struggling with a lot of, it's not, I'm not trying to break free. I'm about to become super free. So I already feel that things are moving, and this was like a catapult forward. And when we do that, that affects the nervous system. So instead of giving you a lot of information about the nervous system, I'm going to share more about how I worked with it and what happened to me, and give you context and practical examples instead. So healing is about stress. So when we want to expand, we have to contract. And if you want to expand wildly as a human, you also have to contract in the equivalent proportion of, as much as you want to expand, you have to contract equally as much. So if we've been through something, then we know we got to process that. So there's a lot to process from the past. And as we do that, the nervous system starts to expand. So the nervous system is always contracting and expanding. It's very, very fluid. It's very, you can go from 1 second to another through the extremes. And you can also be in multiple places in the same time. So you can be activated and grounded at the same time. It's all about the level of perception and the level of awareness and the level of self-mastery of the nervous system. Because you can have a reaction ongoing and you can have another level of awareness where you feel completely safe. So this also represents so whatever we have going on in the body is also represented on a bigger scale in the world, in nature, in the universe. There's these patterns that are constantly repeated and reused, for lack of better word. I'm very tired today, so I'm sorry about that. So as my nervous system is already starting to come out of a very deep contraction, I also know that I'm going to expand equally as much. So even if we are expanding into a better future, it doesn't mean that it is very comfortable. And this is where it's the brilliant analogy of the roller coaster. Because when we go to the roller coaster, we go there because it's fun. So it's a treat, Going to the amusement park is a treat. You do that because you want to have fun. It's not a punishment. It's not you've been bad, so now you got to go to the roller coaster. It's usually seen as a happy place and a luxury and something that you do once or twice per year, and it's a big thing when you were a kid, even as an adult. And when it seems like a good idea, you're gonna go the new, and then you insert some killer experience name, and then you stand in line and then you realize, like, wow, it's really high and it's really fast, and so it's this dual experience, and that it's safe, but still people fall off. So is it really this time? And then you go and it's that feeling. So when you ascend and when things are starting to go your way, it's also like, is it really gonna work? Is it happening? Are you sure this is stable? And it's this excitement because things starts to move fast. So as we are going faster, and remember this, because everyone you see around you who are very successful, none of them had done, like, whatever people are doing, they've never done it before. So if we look at someone and we feel like they are very good at something, And then we forget that they also started somewhere. Even if you're born into a family, even everything is handed down, you still have to manage. And for most people, it is a big deal. And when we expand, we expand. Expansion is expansion. We're going to feel it. And as we are moving out, so there's this the expansion and also the residue of the past. And I shared with you that I realized that this, did I share that with you, that it's oh, this is, oh, sorry for if I'm repeating myself, but I what I saw in the face, so I realized I'm mirroring myself. So I'm looking at myself and I'm starting to, so now I'm getting over the fear of talking to you guys. So now I'm starting, now it feels like I'm doing what I came for, and it's to study myself and mirror myself. So now I'm starting to see and really connect. And I realize, so I've been processing the whole day of yesterday was me in a healing space, a paradise, with all the right, everything is like correct installed. The food was good, the people were good, everything was good, everything was great. And the nervous system can then process, can calm down. Because what is happening is that we want the nervous system to come down a notch and come down a notch and come down a notch. And this doesn't mean that we have to live from here. So it's never about eternity, and it's always about eternity. But it's never about, because we talk about that all the time, that everything fluctuates, that nothing is stagnant unless it's dying, that everything is moving and we want it to move. And for women, the emotions move with the cycles of life because we are so connected. And I was sitting there by the waterfall yesterday for just long periods of time, and it was thunderous and it was so perfect. You could really sit so close. You were getting the fumes. And I look and I see, because now fall is, well, not fall, but it's summer is coming, so everything is dying because the sun starts to get really hot. So the trees, so it look, for me, that's fall, when all the leaves are coming down from the trees. So, I'm sitting there and I'm always connected to the death and the birth process because I'm connected to nature. I see this process everywhere. Lucky comes in with a mouse that is squeaking, and I try to help it, and I watch it. I'm deeply connected to it. This constant cycle of evolution. And when we want to heal, this aspect of life is something that we need to connect to. We need to be honest and truthful about what this life really is, and not avoiding any aspect. And that is the maturity, and that is the capacity that we can hold all of life. And as women, we have truly that capacity to be comfortable in every aspect of life. And that is deeply, wildly connected to the knowledge of one owns oneself. Know thyself. That is probably the most important comment that I can make, is know thyself. Because when we know ourselves, then whatever comes at us is very different. It's very, very different. And that completely changes the whole level of this experience. So being there yesterday was, I was processing a lot, and it also felt like I had an experience that I've never had before, because I was meeting people on a completely different level and I was being met on a completely different level. So that is my proof in my reality that something is changing. And just the way that we operated yesterday as a team, me and Simba, and just the whole experience, the whole day. And that is the quantum leaps, when you feel the change in real time, because they are so big and there's so much change. And that is happening in the nervous system, and allowing the belief system to follow suit, to believe and lean into the expansion when it's happening, but not expecting it to be, oh, it's all going to be sunshine and roses from here. That's just not the quality of this life. However, when we become aware, we become the reality creators. That's when you can start to really take bolder steps, because everything is working in unison. And then you have to have the nervous system on board, because it's, expanding and increasing your capacity. It is a tickling experience, because otherwise you're not stretching. It just comes with the territory. It has to be a little, oh my God, because otherwise it's not happening. Because if it's not exciting enough to expand your nervous system, you're not changing as a human. And that's the whole point. So we're supposed to have these activating experiences. And the more we can hold those, that is when it really starts to shift. And that's the point. So yesterday, I just enjoyed it so much. So much. It was such a great day. And I was moving so much. I have pain everywhere. And Simba was hosting a deep internal alchemy class, so I had the ability to move a lot of energy, and then I could feel during the day that shifted. There was a before and after the whole experience, so it's so powerful. And then today, I am very tired and very emotional. A lot coming up, so there's a processing. So there was an expansion yesterday, and that's also when the the emotions that the body now is ready to hold can, in a very safe and normal way, just come to the surface and pass through. So there was a lot of that this morning, and I had maybe a 3-4 hour process for myself. So Sunday morning, just took the time. So for me, it was a lot of interaction also yesterday. So there is a very it was also a big experience for my nervous system, in terms of, so there was the nature aspect, but there's also the event aspect, talking to a lot of people and not being fully alone all day, and being outside and all of these things. So there's these parallel processes that is going on. And then we came home late, and I woke up early, and today I'm tired, but I'm allowing the body to process this whole day. I helped it a lot. So now I'm having so much insights, and now I feel like, okay, this is still part of the journey that I keep processing and allowing the co-creation. So going to that space and really choosing and really doing my research and feeling into, I could really hone into, and then the energetics, and they delivered exactly, it was exactly what I thought it would be. So it was interesting when I came there first and I saw like, no, this is not, wait a minute. Yeah, here we have it. Da, 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 da. And then I could tune in and I was like, oh, okay, this is what it is. And then, okay, we're here. Okay. And it was exactly as I thought it would be, but I never put my energy into figuring out the how. Like, how is this going to manifest? So I just walked in there and allowed it to manifest and allowed it to show me how it was matching the energy that I was sensing. Yeah. So today, just really processing all of that, because I'm also leaning into my hermit stage, because this process is so much for me. This 108 days, it really stretches my nervous system. So just the fact that I was gonna do it one today, I just didn't. I mean, it wasn't that I didn't feel like doing it, because I really enjoy this. This is a very big important piece of my life. But I could feel that there was I was very aware the whole morning that I had to do this. So I kept, even though I have all day, I don't have to, but still there's this pressure in the nervous system that I need to come on here and deliver. And so I'm feeling into the performance aspect of that because I just said that I need to deliver, which I don't need to do anything. But I mean, I'm doing this as a, if I didn't want it to be good, then then what am I doing here? So there's a pressure aspect that is coming from this project that I am learning about on a deeper level. And today is a very big day of that learning, of deepening that knowledge, of exploring that, because I'm receiving more and more information as we go along. And then I also realized that now is the time for us to start descending into, we're gonna shift the frequency a little bit and start to descend in the nervous system and start to go a little bit deeper and lower the intensity and go into this water. It's almost like when I look at when I look at the energy, it's almost like we're collectively, taking a big breath and like, and go down underwater. And then that's the interesting thing that I've been talking about, the water, and that we are descending into water, and that we have this bowl of water, and the fact that we're going to shift the atmosphere. It's been very fiery, it's been very dynamic, there's been a lot of teachings, there's been a lot of transmission, and that is still going to come. It's still going to be a little bit different every day, and this multidimensional aspect never really goes away. So anything can still happen, but it's time for us to deliberately start to connect and ground and descend. And what we are making our way into is to the silence. And it's making the nervous system more and more comfortable with the slowing down and increasing the awareness. So this might also be noticeable for you. And maybe we have aspects that we prefer, or that can be all kinds of things, especially if we've gotten used to a certain format, which I know you haven't, because we've already been, going everywhere in the body. But still, it's time to bring it down a little bit. And this is what I mean when I say I'm going to sneeze now. Sorry about that. Completely lost my train of thought. I was getting too caught up in the sneezing and becoming self-conscious about the sneezing, which doesn't matter by now. But still, it's a nervous system thing. So for me, it's going to be an experiment too, to bring down because I'm very comfortable in the taking charge and speaking and being dynamic. But now it's time to do something different, to change the pace, to change the atmosphere. Because if we are so the deeper we can go, we cannot expand. So we can only expand to the level that we have gone to the depth. Universal law, always balanced. So if you want to expand as a human, the place to go is depth inside. So we're going to consciously slow things down and go deeper into the body and just come from a little different space, to create this space as more of a place to arrive and maybe nurture. And we can create an atmosphere that feels a little bit like, arriving in cotton. It's has a certain vibe to it. So when all of these things happen in the same day and they just align, and then I get a little bit puzzled. I get a little bit shook. Not shook, but shook is still the right word. Because there was a part of me that wasn't sure if this experience was ever going to get exciting again. Because I've been excited over the years in my life about this experience, but there's a lot that happened that has also made me not so excited about this experience. And the connection to the abandonment wound is there. So I'm realized in this process, also during yesterday and during my own face pattern recognition and meridians connecting, I realized that the abandonment wound is the energy that's being still processed, and that is a huge thing for my body. And it's just so amazing to see the connections and being able to work with them in real time. It's just such a, even though it's uncomfortable, it's just the biggest gift of life. It's the fact that it's possible and that we can change our experience to this extent is just, it's a miracle. And that we have the ability to do that by ourselves. It's just so incredibly cool. And things start to, when I observe my reality and I start to notice the multidimensional synchronicities and the web and how it's connected, and things start to present itself in the reality, even I start to get, it's a very interesting and spectacular experience. And there's this awe for it. And when you realize how magical it is, there's a sadness at the same time, because you realize how short life is. And I'm not going to say you, I realize how short life is. And when it becomes beautiful, it just becomes shorter and shorter. And then I'm already grieving the life. It's a very, very particular, it's the, you, I get to the connection, the instant connection. And that is why in the yin and the yang, in the black one, there's always a white dot, and vice versa. Because once you truly feel and see and appreciate the other one is right there. Because we can't have one without the other. We can't appreciate life to that extent without being aware that it's temporary. Because if it was not temporary, we would take it for granted. And we're acting like it's forever. And this is how it was for me, because I didn't enjoy it as much, I didn't really care that it was temporary. I was more, thank God it's temporary. And this reminds me of one of the first ladies when I came out of the jungle. There was a lady, she told me that your quest here on earth is to fall in love with life. And I just looked at her and I'm like, that's a quest. And then when these kind of feelings appear, when I fully see the magic and the beauty, even though it's not all the time, but it's this, I've enjoyed life a lot. I'm not saying that I haven't enjoyed life, but this is different. There's just something else going on. There's this feeling that just fills the whole space. And I start to see that changes are happening in real time. And then the body is processing the grief of the past, because we're always leaving something or someone behind. It's such a deeply interesting journey. Because if we thought that it would be, now I'm saved, now I'm healed, and the happily ever after illusion, but we can still be happy. We can be, so when we can hold it and be happy at the same time. It doesn't kill the buzz, it doesn't kill the vibe. That's the difference. But we are very aware. And then we get lost in creativity, and then there's just that, that's just life. But we can't stay there forever. It has to be this, come back to what is real, what is true. And that journey is through the nervous system. And what blocks the expansion of the nervous system is the belief system. So the belief system overrides the healing of the nervous system, because it can regulate and kind of shut down the nervous system. This is wildly, like, easily explained, but it has to be like that. We can't make it complicated. And for those who want to research, and most of you already know a lot about the nervous system, there's tons of information out there. And if you want to nerd out on it, go talk to Simba. I'm not so much into explaining, or I teach. Don't get me wrong on that, but I'm not here to argue or convince. I'm not convincing. So I'm talking to you as you already know these things. So I don't feel like I need or even want to try to convince you into it. That's what I mean. Okay. I knew I would feel better or different after this, and I do. This is how this process is changing me episode by episode. It's a very, very interesting experience. I wonder how many times I've said that. And I got a beautiful comment on one of my videos today. That was from someone. That was a phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you so much. So today is Sunday. So if you want to communicate with me in the Telegram group, I'm going to pop in and reply to some questions after this. And if you have any for me, you can drop it in there and drop in. Let me know, what day are you on? How is it going? Yeah, well, what's happening? How's it going? What are you learning? What are you expanding? What's happening when you're contracting? All of it. The link to the Telegram group is in the description if you would like to join. And like and subscribe if you enjoy this journey. I would appreciate that very, very, very much. And I will be seeing you tomorrow. I'm going to go back to Sunday hermit mode and with no plans, just following the in body day. No, I'm going to have a massage in 40 minutes. Score. Wow. 2-hour phenomenal oil massage. Score. Okay. Sending you lots of love. Have a good day. Ciao, ciao, ciao.